Continuing Story 1 with a tragic finale to The Tragic Rooster. Late next day, air blew through. Windows were open. The shutters were knocking about. A hand grasped one shutter, stopping it cold. Another hand swung the other wide. 3 heads poked into the food hall. "There he is," murmured one of the 3 teenage boys, squinting. "He likes it under there." Repulsed yet captivated, they sneered in disgust at the only thing in the room that moved, a grown man wearing nothing but a kitchen apron and crouching in the shadows under a table. "Just think about it," a boy remarked loudly, heedless of caution or courtesy. "All the trouble they took to keep animals out? Now they're keeping this one in." The 3rd teen simply expressed nervous delight at the twisted insight, letting out peevish laughter, which they shared. The man emerged into the fading light, giving the teens a striking view of tensed bare forearms above the splayed fingers of cupped hands. Then came a wild-eyed face. The wild man's head pivoted, giving them a glimpse of his scruffy profile. He squawked, giving them all a jolt. The incautious teen observed aloud, "Clearly insane." His buddy murmured, "The Rudigal Zoo," said the peevish 3rd, scowling. "Did he crap in the corner? Guys, I think he crapped in the corner. Unbelievable."
"Hey!"
A voice thundered from behind in the street.
"Get lost, useless punks."
Another voice announced,
"Hey, we're the ones in charge here now. Get away from there."
And the 3 boys panicked and fled. The teenagers were replaced at the window by 3 authoritative grown-ups, 2 men and a woman. The woman spoke.
"Those damned boys are well old enough for the Emperor's service. I'm sure of it,"
she said, and she jotted some quick notes, later to inform the town's recruiters. The 3 voices of authority indeed were in charge of the situation, duly appointed by the Rudigal family. It was clearly necessary to bring in responsible help, and this trio were known to be stable and dutiful. After the shocking incident of the day before, desperation had spread like wildfire. Nan went to stay with a friend right away, the friend suggesting that the ghost of Beresevi's natural mother had invaded the homestead. "Best stay away for a time, no matter what happens next." Then there was the father. He arrived late, well after the fact, and felt compelled to make a strategic decision. Rumor was going to spread quickly, so he said that the Rudigal clan had a lunatic for a potential heir. Being in the middle of a trade guild negotiation, he had best head back out and close the deal before the scandal could be used against him, so he said. He raced away the same night. As for the siblings, they had their own families to worry about, so they didn't stick around. Former guests ventured to talk to the disturbed Rudigal son, but he ignored them. He ignored everyone, and if you touched him, he screamed and scratched. He had gone wild. Should someone try to entice him to respond? Or try to force him out? "Quarantine!" was the neighborhood consensus. It could be a contagion, illness of body or mind, or worse. And only time would tell. He must be contained. If anyone, it rested with the uncle, head man of town, to order any kind of action. Until then, these appointees would supervise the situation. They had the Rudigal uncle's approval. They inspected, through the big front window, poking their heads in, not so very differently than the delinquent youths had just done.
"Not snapping out of it, is he?"
the taller man intoned morosely. The average man shook his head. He had nothing at all to add.
"It seems,"
said the woman analytically,
"that people are normal one day, then snap, they change, for no particular reason at all. Interesting."
The average man nodded his head, nothing to add. The 3 supervisors had endured the words of the neighbors, the suggestions. that a foreigner had laid an evil curse upon the boy, that Beresavi had sealed a deal with a gypsy occultist to ensure his physical safety during the war, and the price to pay was his brain. Said the average man with a dramatic, forlorn sigh,
Ah, his mind is good as exiled to the land of Limbus.
The land of Limbus was an actual common grounds near town, owned by no one, claimed by none. People abandoned things there, sick livestock, cartloads of rubble, rotting trash, dead dogs. Sometimes desperately poor mothers exposed babies there in secret and in shame. Feral dogs roamed its rocky outcrops. It was poor ground for planting and poor for pasture. Not a pleasant place. The land of Limbus was understood to be cursed.
Yeah,
Said the tall man bitterly.
in any case, he's gone. I've seen the likes of this before. He's done.
And such is life. People snap. Bad things happen, sometimes for no acceptable reason. Sometimes there's nothing more to be done for a lost daughter, for a son, except for you to stop and watch. Watch the tall white field flowers through the eyes of a creature of the open field, like a rabbit, a fox, or whatever comes into sight and draws your attention, or comes to mind. You become one for a while, even though that's impossible. But it's true. Like one of them, you are scavenging. You are scavenging for consolation. Take someone like Beresavi Rudagal. He will scavenge forever, bless him. Or will he find his consolation? That depends on you. Though it sounds impossible, he might yet come to where he belongs. His hope is your involvement. Well, one way or another now, you're off. Off you go now. Go to the one that draws you. You have just listened to The Tragic Rooster, Story 1 of Fabulous Tales and Fables ASAP by Owen T Duggan, year 2017. And read by myself, the author, because let's face it, professional readers are not cheap.